Hello everyone, it's Erev Shabbos, so we'll do a short vart on today's daf, which is daf Zayin. Did you ever wonder why we are called Yidden, or Jews, or Yehudim? All of these words, Jew, Yid, they all come from the same place. They all come from Yehudi, which all comes from Yehudah. Why are we all called Yehudim? We don't all come from Shevet Yehudah. The answer, interestingly enough, is found on today's daf. The Gemara says on Zayin Amud Beis, "V'amar Rabbi Yehuda mishum Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, miyayim shabar HaKadosh Baruch Hu es ha'olamai," from the day that the Rebbeinu Shalom created his world, "Lo yahaya adam shahaydal HaKadosh Baruch Hu," there was nobody who thanked. That's the simple meaning of the word haida here. There's nobody who thanked the Rebbeinu Shalom for a tova, for something good that was done for them. Ad sheba'as Leah, until Leah came, v'haidasai, and Leah thanked the Rebbeinu Shalom. Shenamar, like it says in the pasuk, when Yehudah was born, Leah said, "Hapam oida es Hashem." This time, on the birth of this child, I will thank Hashem. Rashi explains over here, why did Leah thank Hashem specifically upon the birth of Yehudah? Lefi sherasa b'ruach hakodesh, Leah saw in ruach hakodesh sheYaakov mamich name asar shvatim, that Yaakov was destined to raise 12 shvatim, 12 tribes. V'loi arba noshim, and Leah knew that Yaakov had 4 wives. Kevin sheyolda ben revi, so when Leah gave birth to her 4th child, if you have 12 children coming from 4 wives, you divide it evenly, it would seem that every wife would be destined to have 3 children. So when she had her 4th, Haidis al Chelka Sha'ala Yosem and Acheshben Hamagila, she thanked the Rebbeinu Shalom because she realized that she now was zeichet to have a portion that was greater than what she had a rightful claim to. She would have expected to have 3 children, now she had 4. So for that extra portion that she received, she thanked the Rebbeinu Shalom. Okay, what does it mean to be moida? Now the truth is, before I go any further, I want to read to you a Targum Yonasan ben Uziel from this week's parsha, from Parshas Vayechi, and that's where we see what I told you, that the reason we're called Yehudim is because of Yehudah. The pasuk says in this week's parsha, Yehudah, Ata yeducha achecha, your brethren will praise you. The Targum Yonasan ben Uziel over here says, Yehudah, Ant oidesa al uvda de tamar, you admitted your faults by the story of Tamar. When Tamar was being taken out to be killed because they thought that she was Mizana, so Tamar said, she sent the staff and the signet ring, and she said, the one who owns these items, that's who I am expecting a child from. She didn't want to say straight out that it was from Yehudah. She didn't want to embarrass Yehudah. And Yehudah got up and admitted, Yehudah said, Tzadka, mimeni. And he admitted that Tamar was expecting from him. So Yehudah antoi deisa al uvda de Tamar, you admitted your fault by the story of Tamar. Begin Cain lach Yehudan achach v'yiskaran Yehudayin al shemach v'yiskaran Yehudayin al shemach. Because of this, all of your brothers will be called Yehudim. So why are we called Yehudim? We're called Yehudim because Yehudah was Maida, because Yehudah admitted by the story of Tamar. Leah was the first one to be Maida to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Leah, Yehudah's mother, was the first one to thank the Rebbeinu Shalom for a tova that was done specifically for her. And Yehudah was the one who admitted his wrongdoing, so to speak, by the story of Tamar. And because of that, we are all called Yehudim. What's at play over here? What is this maila of admitting, and why is it that we are all called Yehudim? The truth is that this midah, this ability to admit, is a very, very powerful thing, and it's a very necessary thing in the life of a Jew. And I'll tell you why. Did you ever have where you do something for somebody, and that person turns around and says, no, you didn't have to. Oh, you shouldn't have. You didn't have to. What is he really saying? I think what the person is really saying is, you didn't have to do it. If you had to do it, so then maybe I'm indebted to you. In other words, you did something for me, and you felt that you were in a position you had to do it. You did it for me, so now I'm indebted to you. If you didn't have to do it, then I don't owe you anything. You didn't have to do it. You shouldn't have done it. You wanted to do it, so you're a volunteer. You're a volunteer. I don't owe you anything. People don't want to owe. They don't want to owe anybody else. They don't want to owe anything to anybody. And that's why they say, nah, you didn't have to. Nah, you shouldn't have. But that's not right. When somebody does something for you, you are indebted. You owe hakaras hatov, you owe gratitude, you owe a thanks, and in a way, yes, you are indebted. And one of the reasons this is so necessary in the life of a Yid is because we all have to be willing to be moide. We all have to admit to the Rabbeinu Shalom that we owe the Rabbeinu Shalom a tremendous debt for everything that the Rabbeinu Shalom does for us. If we don't have the ability to be moide, then chas v'chalila, a person won't be moide to the Rabbeinu Shalom either. He won't admit that he owes a debt to the Rabbeinu Shalom. And if you don't admit that you owe a debt to the Rabbeinu Shalom, then why should you serve him? One of the reasons we serve Bari Olam is because we have to acknowledge it and we have to be willing to accept and admit on a day-to-day basis, on a minute-to-minute basis, that every breath that we take, everything that we eat, everything that we have, everything that we are, all comes from Borei Olam. It all comes from the Rabbeinu Shalom. Since it all comes from the Rabbeinu Shalom, we're indebted to the Rabbeinu Shalom. We're indebted to the Rabbeinu Shalom. We have to follow Torah mitzvahs. So this ability to be makir tov, this ability to be moida, when we say in Shemona Esrei, moida manachnu lach, it's not only we're thanking the Rabbeinu Shalom, but we're thanking the Rabbeinu Shalom from a place of admission. We're admitting to the Rabbeinu Shalom that we understand and we acknowledge everything that we owe him. Everybody should have a wonderful, wonderful Shabbos. I hope you enjoy these little pieces on the daf. Everyone have a wonderful Shabbos. Be well.